As I was editing this video about what I thought was just snippets from our road trip, I realized that it has a theme, and the theme runs so much deeper and is so much more personal to me because I know the backstory. So I thought I would share a little bit about the people in this video.
3.
From Mojave to Vegas. The impetus to our jaunt over to Vegas was twofold. A couple weeks prior, I had gotten an invitation to attend the wedding of our friend George and Jenny. And what makes it so special for us is not only is George a dear friend of ours, but his family is all in Kenya, where we met George 6 years ago. He was our guard. We met him. This beautiful, shiny young man walks up to us in perfect British English and introduces himself. He's got an AK slung over his shoulder and he's in full fatigues. And he said he was our guard for the night. George and I ended up staying up till the wee hours. George, how old were you? Were you like 18 or 19? And we talked about medical issues, we talked about America, about Africa, and about his family and everything in between. And as I left, I'm going to try to find a picture. I think I have this picture on Facebook. As we were leaving the next morning, George had brought me a shrug, a beautiful woven shawl that he wanted me to take. And I'd left him a book in English of medical procedures in the bush that I thought could help him with his English and also be of benefit in the rural part of Kenya where we were. So when he called and said he was getting married at the Bellagio in Vegas, could we come and represent his family? We were more than delighted. So the trip to Vegas was twofold. It was actually threefold. I also got to meet I shouldn't have favorites, but I do. One of my favorite subscribers, I call her my fairy godmother, Zell. So she lives in Vegas, and it was delightful and surreal and just as I had expected, but more than I had expected, meeting her for the first time. We chat on the phone and we write back and forth, and it was really wonderful to be with her and her husband Howard. I really enjoyed it.
No.
But we had such a good time.
Oh, good.
And she'll tell you about all the details.
Yay. Are you going to make a video too?
This is my fairy godmother.
Oh, nice.
So I'll put a little snippet of those two in the video, as well as we met up with a friend of ours from Hood River, actually a friend that Glenn met in the mountains in Idaho dirt biking, Chuck's son. And for those of you that are maybe my age or around my age or even older or maybe even a little bit younger, the name Chuck's son, if you're into motocross, will have a significant meaning. He was the, 1980 motocross world champion. He spends part of his year in Vegas and part in Hood River. So getting to be with all three of these delightful people in Vegas was super fun. Chuck let us stay at what is known lovingly as the compound, and we got to meet his friend Andrew and Perry, whom I taught how to make bread.
We went down.
I didn't think it would last an hour.
Yep. Oh, the bread, yeah.
How is it?
Yep, very good.
Really good.
Nice job for a first try. Andrew just got married and his bride is in Spain, and he's going to be living in the south of Spain at the end of this year. And so I might see Andrew again in Spain. So as I was putting this video together, I realized all of the significance of people that you meet. People that you might meet that could be just a brief encounter.
For
It was really good. It was really good.
That's pretty good.
But there's something special. There's something in them that you don't want to let go of. Those relationships have to be fostered, and they have to be nurtured. And in my life, it's been very true that I have been a collector of people. When I meet somebody that I feel is extraordinary, that has an extraordinary presence, a light, gifts in this life, I do my best to hold on to them. So I thought it was really interesting that these people, different circumstances, but very similar, where you meet briefly and it could just be a passing introduction, but because of something, your threads connect and you get all woven together. And so I just think that's a really special, it's a special thing. And so I want to introduce to you our friend George and our new friend Jenny and her beautiful family that just took us in after the wedding and loved us. We had an absolute ball. And then the boys at the compound, thank you. I didn't think I could spend 4 days with a bunch of dirt biking, as Chuck calls them, mountain men, and not retreat to the camper for a couple days on end, which is my safe place. But I loved every second. They were all amazing, welcoming. It's funny being a girl in a truly masculine environment. The dirt bike, the garage alone, and the pull-up contests, and the drinking, and the late night carousing on the dirt bikes around the compound was awesome. Every speck of it was awesome. So it was just a super fun time, and I wanted to introduce you to these lovely, lovely people and my fairy godmother. Love you, Sal.
Samurai!
Yeah, Jack!
Yeah! That little kick to get it up, that was funny. That was good.
Developed last night, little evidence of the action. Bikes lined up neatly.
I think that happened after I went to bed. Yeah, they do. They look fairly respectable this morning. All tidy in here.
This is our first Uber ride we've ever had. We're in Las Vegas going to a friend's wedding, and this is a friend that we met in Africa when we drove through 6 years ago. So we haven't seen him since. He lives in northern Kenya, and we're super delighted to get to go to his wedding and see him again.
I don't know if this hat is blocking the wind, but this is our way up and this is our way down.